In salute to John Hewitt himself and the good people at the John Hewitt Summer School, I'm going to read a poem of Hewitt's that I had the great pleasure to read in Armagh a few years ago when I read at the summer school with the great Kieran Carson and the equally great Elaine Quillinan. And the title of the poem I read on that occasion of Hewitt's is titled, Because I Paced My Thought. Because I paced my thought by the natural world, the earth organic, renewed with the palpable seasons, rather than the city falling ruinous, slowly by weather and use, swiftly by bomb and argument. I found myself alone who had hoped for attention. If one listened a moment, he murmured his dissent. This is an idle game for a cowardly mind. The day is urgent. The sun is not on the agenda. And some who had hated the city and man's unreasoning acts remarked, he is no ally. He does not say that power and hate are the engines of human treason. There is no answering love in the yellowing leaf. I should have made it plain that I stake my future on birds flying in and out of the schoolroom window, on the council of sunburnt comrades in the sun, and the picture carried with singing into the temple. Two poems of my own I'd like to read are from this book, which has just come out, The Sea Field, and they face each other. The title of the first one, it's an attempt at a sonnet. The title of it is Houdini on Donegal Quay. And for aficionados of Houdini, you'll know that he confessed to his wife that this is where he came closest in his whole career to dying. Houdini on Donegal Quay. This, the place I nearly didn't escape. Not that their crate or chains were better made. It had something to do with my jailers, who wouldn't have it said I'd slipped from them in broad daylight before a gaping throng, while they looked on and held aloft their keys. Lord knows, a duplicate under the tongue is hardly the pinnacle of artistry, and it wasn't death they hankered to see, just a man being brought on everyone's behalf to his penultimate breath, a representative who, operating beyond oxygen and fear, glimpses the next life, then opts for this, by finding, when all is water, a breath of air. The facing poem is titled Stan Laurel and Oliver Hardy at Cove, 9th of September 1953, and it has a short epigraph from Stan Laurel himself. And then something happened that I can never forget. All the church bells in Cove started to ring out our theme song, and Babe looked at me and we cried. I'll never forget that day. Never. It was a homecoming nobody foresaw. They were washed up, working the music halls, in the backwaters that still remembered them, and coming by water being too broke for air, which kept them in touch with the common man, the ailing waiting for the boat to Lourdes, the able sailing with their 10 bob notes stitched into the seams of homemade clothes. There was slapstick on the tender coming in, the whole impromptu routine on the quay, for all of the people suddenly at liberty to take in what their eyes could not believe, until across the rooftops music came. Then laughter stopped, and tears came hot and strong, as the great carillon of St. Coleman's rang, in jubilation and in prayer, their cuckoo song.